So Arch Enemy, this is going to be a weird one to review because some people are going to say I'm absolutely hypocritical and I'm being a fanboy, but I'm going to explain it. I've heard of Arch Enemy before War Eternal, that's the album I'm going to review, but I have heard of them beforehand, but I absolutely hated it. I thought the singer was terrible, the musicianship was fine and everything, but the singer just drowned everything out. It was muddy, didn't understand a word of what she was saying. In the music video, she looked like a goat because she always showed her teeth like that, and that's how she screams. She just looked like a stupid goat. She looked ridiculous, and I didn't like her. I'm not into screamo at all. There's a lot of noise. It sounds like someone's choking on a dick. So they're sucking on a dick. It's right down their throat, and they're trying to say something. So rah, 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 just kind of like that. They look stupid. It sounds stupid. No idea what they're saying. Is not really gifted or talented. You can't really do anything with screamo. You just scream. That's basically it. You can't really do all sorts of great pitches and tones and melodies with it. It's just aggression that is as good as it gets. So it's terrible. I listen to bands where it's just basically singing with not maybe a few subtle screams. That's as good as I get. But with War Eternal, they got another singer, which is Alyssa. Now, she is a lot better, and I really like her. Obviously, she's the best full-on screamer I know, because I don't like any other full-on screamers. This is the only one. But she came from a previous band, but even there, I didn't like her. Because it was too fast and too noisy, didn't have a clue what she was saying. In War Eternal, it's basically everything works, everything fits. It has to be done completely correct for it to work. And War Eternal, I think, is it, because it works for me. What she does is, with screamo, when it's all the and then you go in really quickly and everything, you need to enunciate it to kind of get through that scream. Also, you need to space it to kind of get it. If you just like, I have no idea what you're on about. Even speed singing, it's difficult. With screaming, it's going to be even worse. And just doing it that deep and everything, don't understand it. Alyssa, she's articulate because she's a female. It's kind of bright, therefore it will pierce through the scream. It's spaced, so you know where a word ends, so then you can process the word, then you know what the word is, and then you can keep going. It's not spaced like I, the, it's not like that. It's just basically, it's not racing. And because it's kind of bright and articulate, and she's really putting effort into what she's saying, I can understand what she is saying. It's pretty easy. There's some parts which are hard, but overall I completely have a full understanding of what she's saying. And then musicianship, in a lot of other screamo bands, it's all very heavy, very fast, very technical. And it's the same in this. It's fast, there's two lead guitarists, and it's dark and everything, but there's leads throughout the songs which have bright holds and everything, which cuts through all the aggression, so it's like an angelic kind of sound, very bright, beautiful kind of hold, beautiful slides and everything, very nice and uplifting and sounds brilliant. That'll just cut through all that aggression, so actually, screamo band, full of fast-paced metal and everything. But the musicians add the beauty into the song, which gives it that diversity instead of just everything is aggressive, which is great. Lyrically as well, in screamo bands, you can't really do love and everything because you're screaming it. Like, I love you, I want to go out with you and everything, but I'm screaming, therefore it's like I'm screaming in your face, and it doesn't work. It's really odd. So most bands, it's anger, hate, violence, aggression, things like that. In War Eternal, the lyrics are extremely uplifting and bright. It's not hideous, it's not dark and repulsive, where a lot of outsiders who don't like screamo think people who are screaming, it's like devil worship, demon worship. Arch Enemy is seriously nothing like that. War Eternal, it's about self-confidence, self-pride, overcoming fear and everything, having self-control. It's like self-worship and being better, caring for yourself. It's very, very nice and everything. And because Alyssa screams it and the music is very heavy and she's screaming things like self-controlled, you are better than they are and everything, and she's belting it out, it makes you feel empowered because of that. And that kind of now makes me have an understanding of Screamo works for that. Like, I never understood Screamo, but I kind of understand it with this. Since Arch Enemy War Eternal, I thought maybe it'll open the door to other screaming acts, but I've listened to As I Lay Dying. The musicianship is great, the bass player sounds awesome when he sings, but the actual singer is just... and it's just like... It gives variety, so I give it that, but it sounds awful, so don't like it. There's Butcher Babies, which are females, so maybe I prefer a female sound, and I do kind of prefer a female sound. Like, guys, it's so distorted and muddied and muffled. A female's kind of pierce it through a bit better. But there's no solos in Butcher Babies, so the musicianship is and they actually do sing, which I like. And then the Screamo, there's the high-pitched one, and then there's the deeper one, and it's still kind of muddied at times. The high-pitched one is just shrieking her absolutely head off, so it's just kind of piercing and I can't understand what she's saying. The deeper one, it's still quite muddy. I think she's a bit better to understand, but I don't have a clue what they're saying. So this is the only one. Alyssa articulates absolutely everything, makes sure every word has its purpose and effort put in. It's not racing, it's spaced out. She's not extremely piercing, going very high. It's not all the deep, and it's not the and shrieking like crazy. She keeps it in the area where it's not too piercing, it's not too muddy, and then she spaces it out enough. It's not like it's not like that. It's spaced out naturally. Because speed singing, that's hard to keep up with. Screamo is going to be even harder. So she does it like normal singers would, holding it and everything. The album cover of War Eternal is very dark. Alyssa has explained it. It was a while ago since I saw it, so I may get a few things wrong. But basically, a baby's born, and the second it's born, the world around you kind of tries to take you into dark places, tries to manipulate you, warp your mind, and do all these vile things. So the baby's surrounded by these animals in robes, so pigs and rats and everything, who are lying, manipulating, vile, repulsive, and that's what the world does. Now, Death is holding the baby in its arms, which is kind of like like a guardian angel protecting it, because this child basically has a right to life and needs to live until Death is supposed to come for the child. So he's protecting the child, so then it'll die when it kind of needs to, type of thing. I think I'm getting this a bit wrong, but yeah, Death is basically guarding the child from these outside sources and things. So that's pretty much what the album cover is. Now, the first track is an intro called Tempor Nihil Sanit, which is in F tuning, which is very, very low. Like most metal acts, it's drop D. So to go to F, that's a pretty thick bass sound. So it first starts with the guitar being in that F, and I guess, and it's very, very dark. It's kind of like a horror vibe you get. Orchestra eventually comes in, and then the guitar's not doing an interlude. It's not kind of a solo. It's just da-na-nan, da-na-nan. So it's simple. But obviously that sounds something like horror, something that could be in Jaws, Jason, Freddy Krueger type of thing. It's a scary sound, and then the orchestra comes in, carries that on, and then eventually you get a choir coming in, just doing that kind of horror-themed church type of sound. And that goes for about a minute 2 seconds, something like that. And as it ends, it is dun 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 dun, and then you get into your actual song, which is Never Forgive, Never Forget. Now, this is an aggressive song, so I said they are kind of uplifting and everything, but this is aggressive. It's basically about a person who's been wronged, and they're never gonna forgive, never gonna forget. So it's holding this judge and seeking revenge and everything, and being very angry about this thing that was done. It's very, very heavy. It's one of the most fast-paced ones. So the solos are fantastic and everything. But it's definitely one of the fast ones, but luckily I was able to make it out. It's not as easy as the slower songs they do, but you can still figure it out. It just takes a bit of time to kind of get used to it, and then you can understand what the lyrics are and what Alyssa is going ahead and saying. So it's very fast, aggressive and everything. It's not as musical as the other ones. It's just like completely speed metal type of stuff and aggressive. And next track, War Eternal. This is one of the best, and obviously the title song, so maybe why it's one of the best. But War Eternal lyrically I think is amazing, because it's about kind of like being beaten down by someone, and so someone's bullying you, and you really are getting very worked up about it. You're getting very, very, very angry, and so it says war eternal, so it's not a war with them, it's the war inside, which is you want to revolt, you want to attack them, you want to beat them and make them suffer even more than you. They're hitting you, they're causing you pain, so you want to murder them, you want to destroy them. So it's like that feeling and thought of anger. So War Eternal is this war that's going inside, where you're getting so angry and you're so worked up. But it's like, take control and remember who you are. You are better than this. So remember who you are. This anger, it's not you. So lyrically, that is what it's like. The melody in the chorus, this is when the lead guitarist, the founder member, Michael, does his awesome leads throughout the song. And it sounds awesome, it soars and everything. It's absolutely just incredible, the leads here does, because it sounds so amazing with the screams and being very uplifting, empowering and everything, and then you get this beautiful soaring lead and everything, and then everything under that is going absolutely ballistic. It all just fits and works together so brilliantly. And then the first solo starts kind of with whammies. It's a dive bomb, and then he's just like constantly pulling living daylights out of the thing. And then Alyssa then goes, remember who you are, and then it goes into a bit of flash, and then eventually it slows down into a melody, but he still has a bit of flash going through with it. Then I believe it changes their guitarist, because the tone changes, and they do have two leads. So this one's a bit brighter and nice. Then it kind of ends in what I believe is dueling, so both of them playing the same lead at the same time. And then it goes into one of the others again doing a solo, so it shreds into it, and then it does a doing some kind of musical, and then some whammy pulls, and then shredding. Very long solo, brilliant solos, a lot of whammy using, a lot of slowing down and holding notes and having melody, and then a lot of shred and everything. Basically a lot of variety, and you have two different guitarists with two different tones, So it's amazing. And then when the solo obviously kicks in, so that remember who you are, then the wah wah wah. It's a great introduction to the solo, I think. And then lyrically, it's fantastic, and as I said, the chorus, that lead, it just sounds brilliant. I'm butchering it by doing the sound, but it's such an uplifting song. It's so empowering. Like, I've had a hard life. I've been bullied so badly. I've moved around. My family has moved basically because I was in so much danger at one point. I'm not lying. A kid came at me with a knife to my throat and threatened what he would basically do, which basically end my life if I talked to him. I've had one of my teeth shattered by someone punching me in the face 3 times, but I didn't do anything, so I basically just squared up and just stared at the guy. I didn't really want to hit because it would extend it, and then he's just going to get hurt. I'm going to get even more hurt, so I didn't see the point. So I just held my own, basically. So this War Eternal, basically, remember who you are better. And that was what I did. I was better than that because I wasn't going to hurt him. He hurt me and I didn't like it. If I just hurt him, I'm no better. I was better because I don't hurt people. And I don't wish it on people, even if they're bad. So, great song, and it speaks to me. No other people who aren't bullied or anything, although a lot of people do get bullied. It's absolutely ridiculous how much people get bullied. But if you don't, obviously it's not really going to speak to you. But I've been bullied throughout my life. I don't really have friends. I've just had bullies, and that is pretty much the life I've known. Until I kind of left high school, then it got a bit better, but it's a scar, basically, that I'm never going to heal from. So this is another reason why this album speaks to me so much, which is being better and screaming it and making me feel powerful, as well as all the other songs that come later doing kind of the same thing. And it's an anger outlet. With something being this aggressive and everything, if you're angry and you play this and it's so heavy and everything and you're really getting into it, you don't have to yell, you don't have to hit. This kind of takes that anger from you and leaves you feeling calm and powered. So, another reason why it's so good, give me a minute. I should have had hold of this. So, next track, which is my worst, although it is a single. So a lot of people like it. They play it live, so it is one of their most famous off the album, which is As the Pages Burn. Now, people like this, the fans, and why they play it live is because this is the fastest, most aggressive song on the album. But it goes so quickly. So I don't know what she's saying. There's bits I can pick up on, but majority it's very difficult because it's just like, as the page burned deep inside my heart, blah, 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 and it's that quick, and because she's screaming it and everything, and there's kind of shrieks and noises and everything, and then all the aggression underneath with all that speed, it's really hard to pick it up and pick it out. But so lyrically I'm not entirely sure what this is, but I have looked it up, but obviously it's not one I'm really into because it's not one I can, whenever I listen to it, I can hear the lyrics. It's just I look it up and then I know it when I listen to it. It goes so quickly I just kind of lose it, so I keep forgetting. But As the Pages Burn, it's kind of a song about you've done something, but that's in the history, so that's another page. So you burn the pages and then you move on and do something else. So it's been written, but you can burn the page and start a new chapter, I think. I could be completely wrong. I'm not going to say that that is anywhere close. I could be 100% wrong on that. But it starts quite. The song starts quite slow. Not slow, just dun 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 dun. So it's not really a full throttled start. It's quite slow pace, and eventually it's just accelerating way out of control. So musically and solo wise, it's still great. Alyssa in sound, because I like the sound of everything else. I'm a bit more inclined to like the sound, but I just wish I could understand what she was saying. So it really hurts the song for me. But I know that is something personal to me, because I know a lot of people like it. But honestly, I think it should be slower so you can understand what she's saying, because it is difficult. Therefore, it makes it less accessible. So it's inaccessible, basically, the song, to a wider audience. And I'm not saying they have to change and sell out, because it's basically stay the same. I just want to understand what she's saying, like in War Eternal. So I'm not saying change the overall sound, am I? Because I like everything else. But I need to understand what she's saying. And as the pages burn, it's very difficult. Next track, No More Regrets. This starts with a lead, kinda. So you have the rhythm, but then you have the leads. A lead going on over the top. It's quite fast, the lead. It does a bit of a musical interlude near as it ends. And then Alyssa comes in. It's still one of the heavier ones. No More Regrets is kind of like Never Forgiven, Never Forget. So that first track, which I could still understand, but it was pretty much just metal. But No More Regrets is kind of like that, but probably a bit more of a backstep towards musical, but it's still kind of full out metal. No More Regrets is self-explanatory, just no more regrets. So what's done is done. It's done, and it can't be erased. So don't hold regrets, basically. So again, another brilliant song. Some people may say lyrically it's all cheesy and Disneyfied, because I think I have seen a few people complain about Arch Enemy with that, saying that the lyrics are always so uplifting and self-pride and everything, therefore it's cheesy and gay, things like that. I think that's extremely childish and stupid myself, but yeah, no more regrets. So you regret something, but it's done. You can't change it. It's in the past, it's written, it's going to stay there. So you can carry on regretting it, hating yourself for it, beating yourself up, being miserable, wasting days away because of this feeling, or you basically get over it. And if you get over it and you move past it, then you can go back to enjoying life, because this thing that's in the past is destroying your present and future. Basically. Simple as. So you need to learn to move on and let go. Because if you're able to let go of things, it makes you a better person, and also makes your life that bit better. Probably not even a bit, it could make it a lot better if people just didn't hold regrets for things all the time. And this could be said for many things. Regrets, revenge, hatred for a person. You just kind of forgave everything and moved past all these type of things. People would be way nicer and better, and lives would be improved vastly. So even though this is just talking about regrets, I think it can be many subjects, and it works for all of them. So for that, I think this is good lyrically, with a good message. like pretty much everything that came before it, apart from Never Forgive, Never Forget, which is just like a vengeful song. And I take that as just a bit of metal fun lyric content, you know. So the song is very kind of heavy and everything, but the singer, you can still make out what she's saying. The chorus, she really holds on to it, so it's not going quicker, and I think she holds it so it's no more regrets, what's done is done, can't be erased. So obviously you can kind of extinguish the words out from that. Solo wise, again, absolutely brilliant. You Will Know My Name is very special for this type of music, because it starts kind of clean. It's not clean, but it's very quiet and melodic. And then when it actually kind of gets into it, it's soaring stuff. So no kind of speed. It's it sounds really nice. It's really pretty. And when Alyssa actually comes in, it's obviously not doing any more soaring, but the music, it's kind of no kind of real sheer speeds or anything. It's kind of just like chord chugging, if that. So it's very kind of in the background to her screaming. It's quite odd. It works and everything, but it is kind of weird because musically it is so laid back, and she is obviously doing something quite aggressive. But I really appreciate it because obviously it's so musical and bright, and that intro where I had the soaring part as well, which was amazing, and something obviously you don't really hear much of in a style like this, at least. So it's definitely a welcome change, and it's a nice step back, really, just to give you a bit of a breather. So it's kind of like the melody of the album, probably. Although the next track you could probably say is your breather. But lyrically, You'll Know My Name. Again, about a person being bullied, people telling jokes behind the person's name. But then the chorus, it's that you're basically standing up for yourself and feel the strength rise from within. And I don't know if that was actually their song or on the other album they did. Yep, that's not the right lyrics. I've listened to more of their new one, so I'm remembering their newer album than War Eternal. But yeah, You'll Know Your Name. It is still basically about a person who's getting bullied and everything. They tell jokes behind their back. And they think they're evil, but the person's just misunderstood. But the chorus is actually, do you hear me now? Do you see me now? You will know my name. Do you see me now? Do you fear me now? You will know my name. So, because she's soaring that and everything, she's not basically saying what you do in the situation, she's just basically saying, do you see me? Do you hear me? You will know my name. And then back in the verse, so the first verse, it was, they tell jokes I'll never get to hear, but the second verse is, no more jokes I'll never get to hear behind my back at my expense. Because you're going to put an end to it. Because you're going to make yourself known, you're going to make yourself heard, and you're going to stand up. And they're going to know your name. They won't forget it. So, it's just uplifting. It kind of makes you feel strong and everything. Again, because of the musical soaring that is done again, present in the chorus. It soars. The Do you hear me? Do you fear me? You will know my name, and she's sawing it. And the when she says, "Do you fear me now?" She really belts that one out. So, do you hear me now? Do you fear? And then she really lets that one out. You'll know my name. And solo again. It's absolutely all over the place. How it's introduced is fantastic. Nice long solo from two great guitarists. It's a really good track, one of the best. This is probably one of the best, as well as War Eternal, and a few others. As the Pages Burn, as I said, is the weakest for me. And then Never Forgive, Never Forget, and No More Regrets. Good tracks, but not on the same level as things like War Eternal and You'll Know My Name. Graveyard of Dreams is a break, so it's just kind of like the first tracks of the intro. It's just kind of an interlude. Michael said he likes a halfway point in his albums, apparently, just to give a break and a bit of an interlude until it carries into the second half. So kind of like a live show or something, where you have the first act and the second act. So this is like Curtain Call going into the second act. Maybe that's kind of how he sees it. So it's just interlude, which feeds into the next song, Stolen Life. This is the shortest song, so very simple, lots of fun. It just immediately starts. Alyssa is kind of going when the song starts. It's kind of like a whispering growl, so she's not belting, she's not full on screaming, it's just a whispering growl. Is written on your face in a world within a world. So she's just kind of quietly, whisperingly growling that. And then it kind of, she then builds it up from that. So it kind of rises. And then the entire band then exploding when she goes sharks over circling. So it's all the whispering, the building, and then sharks, and she proper goes into it. So it's a real nice kind of rise into that. It's really cool, kind of whispering, and then it kind of builds and it builds. It's awesome when you have a build, because you're anticipating it, and live as well, you're obviously getting ready for it, and then when it happens, you let loose and everything. So it's a cool thing doing a natural rise like that. So as I said, it's a short song, so the chorus is very musical, like really musical. The guitar lead is really nice. Alyssa's voice in this chorus as well is really nice. Like, I know she's screaming and everything, but it sounds so nice and beautiful. Before you walk away, don't forget to turn the knife. So Stolen Life is a person who's kind of betrayed you and stolen your life away. So yeah, she's singing like, what's next, more betrayal, have I not suffered enough? You make me feel so alive, but now you're just killing me. Yeah, it's just about a betrayal. It's just short and sweet. There's no kind of outcome to it. It's basically just someone's betrayed the person that they were close to, and it's basically took their life away because of this betrayal. But even though kind of being dark and depressing, that the chorus is so nice sounding, as I said. Like her vocal delivery in that chorus is so well done, and the leads and everything was so well done. The song ends on the solo. It's not very long, to be honest. I could do with it being longer, because previously you've had seriously long blooming tracks. So to get this kind of weird thing where it's just it's nice and it's good. Like obviously it's still good and everything. It still sounds great, but it's just kind of short. So you're getting into it and it's doing great, and then it's gone, and you're just like, what? Because you're getting into it, and then it only gives you a little bit, and then it just cuts out. So yeah, it's a great solo, but it should be longer, I think. But I'm really into guitars, so I'm gonna say that. Other people who are more into like the voice or just kind of everything together, but not really guitar, may not really mind about it. But I love guitars, so I find a problem with it. Next, we have Time Is Black. Now, musically, they start bringing orchestras into these last tracks, so things like Time Is Black and the track after that and the track after that. So the chorus is kind of when it comes in, so Melissa is just kind of... lyrically, there's not much to the chorus, it's just time is black, time is black. And then the instruments is going along with the orchestra. It still sounds extremely dark, like a theme tune from Underworld or something, probably. So kind of... So it's musical, but it's pretty haunting, pretty dark. And Time Is Black. Lyrically, this is complicated from what I remember. So it's like not really having a full understanding of time or something. So time is vast, time is black, because you never really know what's going to happen in time, how long you got and everything, and how long anything really has. So even though we know and can read time is a complete and utter mystery. Again, this could be completely wrong and everything. It has been a fair while since I've listened to this and kind of gone into the lyrics, because they have an album out after this one, so I've been giving that more of my attention. I do prefer this album, but I listened to this a lot, and then the new album came out, so I was just like, okay, I'll just listen to that now. And when I come back to this, I obviously play my favourites. So a lot of this is a bit rusty, but with the orchestra and everything, like it makes the song a lot grander than the previous stuff, because you have all the instruments there, and then you have Alyssa doing extremely well again. You can still make sense of her, although in Time Is Black, I think there is kind of aspects where she kind of fades a bit out, where I struggle. So there's bits where I am struggling to understand, but overall I do get what she's saying. But because of that, obviously lyrically, I'm a bit kind of messed up. So I've had to look up the lyrics to fully understand what Time Is Black is, unfortunately. But as I said, because of the overall album, I really like her and everything, and the sound. I've come to appreciate and really enjoy her voice. So when I'm not really getting it, I just take it as lyrically in bands. Like Bruce Dickinson, he's a fantastic singer, but sometimes I don't have a clue what he's saying, and he's singing. So I just take it like that. Sometimes, a lot of the time, you get it, but then there's the odd time where it's just like I don't have a clue what was said there, and then you keep listening, it's just like I'm not getting it. So I just take that with Time Is Black. It works exactly the same way, like that. And musically, it's still great. The solos are amazing, and then you have the choir coming into the chorus, making it new, unique. It's not like any of the other tracks, because of that, because the orchestra hasn't really been in them. Well, they have. They've been in the intro and then the Graveyard of Dreams, so they've been present there. But yeah, this is basically an actual song. So the first actual song, which incorporates the orchestra, and this makes it grand and very new, and adds a layer to it, making it sound way more dark and haunting. And more so than if you just had the band playing, it makes it that much more. On and on. Still musically great. I understand what she's saying. Sometimes I don't. Solos are fantastic. I don't think the orchestra's in this one. The orchestra is in Avalanche, so Avalanche, she actually sings in this, but it's extremely subtle in Avalanche, because it's so in the background, her actual singing, and I don't know if it's proper singing or if it's kind of like a slow kind of whisper, but it's clean. But I think she also has her aggressive side right on top of it, so the cleanness is buried. It's the first part of the chorus, I believe, so as the chorus comes in, that is where her clean part is. But they really bury it. If you know, I think it's obvious where it is. And if you're really into all the metal and everything, so you've developed the ear for it, you should be able to pick it out. Like, I picked it out, but I don't think it was my first listen, and it was a few times, and then I was like, oh. So, yeah, she has the clean there. And because it's obviously just a bit, it's not the whole chorus, it's just at the start she has a bit of clean, but I think it is kind of buried under something, I think it is. And so I can't really give much to that. But it is there, it's a subtle thing, and the orchestra is there again, adding that grandness and variety. And then you still get the great solos. I'm yawning a lot, which is really bad. And then pretty much the last song is Down to Nothing. I don't really know the song that well, because I'm not really that keen on it. It's kind of like the only one. Like, As the Pages Burn, I like it and everything, I just don't really understand what is being said. But Down to Nothing, everything, it does not really work. It's kind of alright, like, I can listen to it, but I could just end it at Avalanche. It's already, it's a lengthy album, like, it's just a one track you take out. But musically, there's not much really soaring. There's not much power, emotion. There's not much there. It's basically just a stale, screamy song, I find, Down to Nothing. So it doesn't really work for me. And then you got the outro, which is Not Long for This World. You can get an extra track, which is Shadow on the Wall, which I think is a cover or something. So it's a cover, so they didn't do it or anything. So it's not really worth talking about. So that is basically the album. So because it's the only screaming band I listen to, obviously it's very different for me and unique, and it's a complete standout to everything else I listen to, which obviously is going to make it that much better for me. Musically, it's obviously extremely heavy, and the leads that Michael does in the choruses and everything, all them solos and everything, are awesome. They are so great. The solos are really good at showing off and making awesome, cool noises and things, and doing shred, but incorporating the musical side to it, so not just being just mechanically showing you talent. He shows, but he has the feel, he has the emotion incorporated through it, so it's just not kind of whittles and bends, but it's just like it's not thought out or anything. So there's that. Alyssa, I can understand her. So all the screams, I don't listen to Screamo, so all that. I wish I'd stop yawning. Yeah, absolutely amazing, and the lyrics, they're fantastic. The solos are fantastic. The screams are actually fantastic and completely new to me and empowering. Because other bands, it doesn't give me anything like that. Other bands I listen to, they're not. I do have some very heavy bands, but this is kind of heavy in a different kind of aspect way, which I don't listen to, and I don't listen to scream, so I don't have that. It's very uplifting lyrically, so there's that as well, and it speaks to me personally because the life I've had, and the solos are great. Everything fits, and as people as well, I really like them. Like, 2 of the band members are vegan, and nobody knows this, but I'm a vegan. And when I went to college, I did animal care and all sorts of things. So the lead singer Alyssa, she's a vegan. The clothes she wears that you see on the music video, all them really outrageous, not outrageous, but unique kind of outfit she's wearing. People come to her to say, "Can I make you an outfit?" But she says no animal products, because she doesn't believe in animal products and animal testing, just like me. So, and she doesn't drink alcohol because it's like poison to the body and things. I do at times drink alcohol. My first alcohol experience was a bad one. I was 14, I didn't know anything about alcohol. Someone brought over like 2 full bottles of vodka, so I thought I'm going to be really cool and just down the first one, because I said how bad is this, the alcohol content. And they said, "Oh, there's nothing, you can't get drunk off of it." So I just downed the thing, and it was my first experience, and I was only 14. And then I started on the second one, got about halfway through, just straight vodka, so like 42%, and it honestly didn't go well. And I was lucky because I was really, really sick, like very sick, and if I wasn't, I don't know what would have happened. So that was my first experience. So it took me a long time to basically get into alcohol again. So that was the only time I've been drunk. I've never been drunk ever again. I don't see the point. But I do drink just because it is something different. Like it's not the same as a fizzy drink, and because the alcohol content, it can one alcoholic drink, that is it, and it kind of relaxes me. I don't need any more, and my head kind of already kind of swims. If I go for 2, I feel very dizzy. So I do that, but it's very rare. So basically, I appreciate that in Alyssa as well. And the lead guitarist Michael, he's a vegan and doesn't have animal products either. So because of that, it speaks to me, and then lyrically it speaks to me, and it's completely different to anything I listen to, so I have that going for me. And the solos are fantastic, the leads and melodies are fantastic. Her voice, I really do like it, and it's really empowering when she's screaming these uplifting lyrics. It makes me just feel strong. So putting a score on it, obviously I've got a few issues. So as the pages burn, she sings it way too quickly, so I don't understand. What are the problems have I got? In songs like Time Is Black, On and Avalanche, I kind of I understand lyrically what it is, and I can understand her, but there's parts where it's like it kind of fades. So there's that, and then Down to Nothing is pretty boring of a track. It's kind of boring. I think the reason for it wasn't written by Mike, who is the person who writes this. It was written by someone else, and it just doesn't work. It's completely wrecked out of the formula because it has to work. As I said, the screaming has to be perfect. It has to be articulate. It has to be spaced out. I have to understand it. And then musically, you need them leads and everything, the musical leads, to add the fluidity and the musicality to it, and the saws. Unless it's all just going to be all aggressive, and that is going to be it. And you can't do that constantly. Like, screaming, it's just going to be the same thing over and over and over again, and then album to album to album, you're going to want some variety. So that musical leads, the guitarist does that. The only problem is now that I'm on board with this, seeing where they go with this. Like Will to Power, the album after this, was not as good, and obviously I need to see where they keep going, because it could get stale because Ed Screaming can't do anything else. How much can you do with it? So they're going to have to show that now. So that's something for the future, because I obviously don't know at the minute. Will to Power obviously was kind of a back step. Some things worked, some things really didn't. So I have to see about that. But yeah, Down to Nothing was boring. There's some tracks where I kind of missed bits out, and Does the Pages Burn? I don't really understand what she's saying. So rating that, I give it an 8.5. So it's a very good album. It's nearly a 9. So like a great album, because it is pretty much a great album. It just has a few problems, but I really like this album. So yeah, that is that. So if you like, leave a like. If you want to see more from me, then you can please subscribe. If you got something to say, then obviously leave it in a comment. I do reply back. I reply a lot. If you want to have a conversation about something, I do that. I get into them sort of things. If you dislike the video, then you have every right to dislike it. I just basically say, tell me the reason, because if I just see there's a lot of dislikes, but there's no one saying why, then clearly I've done something, but I have nothing to tell me what it was, so I'm not going to be able to learn from it. So if there was something that I was bad on or something, then you can tell me, so I can try and change it for next time. But yeah, if you like this and want to see more from me, then please subscribe, because I've not got a lot of subscribers, and I would like to see how far I can take this, because at the minute I don't know if I'm not really going to get any further than this. So if you do, then thanks. If not, that's it's your choice. So just all I can do is thank you for at least watching this. So thanks everyone, and I'll hopefully see you on the next one. Bye guys.